Visual artist Fatima Tayob Moosa's Beneath My Skin is an introspective solo body of work which relays her experiences and reflections stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic. In her abstract works, she expresses her thoughts on this process of introspection, growth and renewal promoted by the pressures of the pandemic by experimenting with burning, melting and then cooling different material such as oils, fabrics, pigments and beeswax and then layering them up in her tactile works. The exhibition is on display daily at the Riboville Boutique Hotel in Waterfall, and she joins us now this morning to share more on her exhibition. Fatima, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thanks, Imperial. Morning to you.
Now, first of all, I'm very well. Good to have you on the show this morning, Fatima. First of all, take us through your creative process when coming up with a new body of work. How do you do it?
It's not something that happens quite so much mentally. It's quite a spontaneous process, and it's more intuitive. I don't actually sort of think too much about what I'm going to come up with, rather just experience the making of something, and through that allow it to develop and evolve. And also my work's very much about what I'm experiencing in my life and around me at the time, influences what happens as a new process develops and a new body of work develops. Yeah.
Okay. And most people couldn't cope during this lockdown, never mind be creative. So did this bring some sort of calm and sanity in your life? I mean, was it therapeutic, to say the least?
I think myself included, I couldn't cope well during lockdown. And yes, my creative process did help a lot. It helped me ground and sort of remove myself from what was going on around me a little bit, so that I had something else to focus on, and fill my space, fill my time. So yeah, it did help. It did bring a lot of calm, but it also gave me a little bit of anxiety because I almost thought about what's going to happen with my career. Not being able to go into my studio was quite difficult as well.
Sure.
Being homebound and finding ways to work at home was not always easy. But yeah, I suppose that was also one of the influences or aspects of the new body of work.
But the most important thing is that it wasn't easy, but then you did it and you allowed your creativity to start flowing. Now, the title, Beneath My Skin, how does it contribute to the understanding of the artwork?
It is what it says, beneath my skin. It's about what I felt within myself. And I made reference to a lot of internal bodily aspects, flesh, skin, blood, vessels, to express those feelings of sometimes anxiety, sometimes calm, trying to process what was going on around me, trying to process the shift in this world because of the coronavirus, the lockdown. Things change for everyone on a global scale. And yeah, I made a lot of reference to internal bodily parts. Yeah.
And Fatima, I know
that's what beneath my skin means.
I know that you work in abstraction. Like most of your work is abstract. Do tell us a little bit more about this choice.
So it is abstract, but the reason I chose abstract is not because I wanted to create abstract work. It's more about process and materiality. So using the beeswax, using the fabric, melting, that's what it's about. And it just so happens that produces an abstract form. Yes, it's more about process and material and how that material evolves to become something else through the heat and the melting. That's more what it's about. It's more about that, the process, than about it being abstract. Being abstract is just, that's what it becomes. Okay. If you understand.
Yeah, I do. And in the process of heating and the melting, what sort of emotions are noticeable in the artwork?
Oh, definitely some form of endurance. So enduring through difficult emotions, difficult situations, challenging emotions and situations, enduring through that, through some sort of patience and hope, is a form of intensity. And that's why I chose the heat, because for me, that intensity is a type of heat. And through that endurance and intensity is how we shift our beings. It's how we change as humans. Experiences shift us and evolve us. And the melting and the heating evolves and shifts material. It melts, it reduces, and then it cools, it softens, it hardens, just as we do, just as humans do in life. And that was the reason for me choosing that process in this work.
And how did you use line, shape, and color to sort of contribute to the mood or the meaning of the work?
To be honest, again, it wasn't so much a focus on the line, shape, and color, but again, it was about organic form and allowing the material to transform into its own line, shape, and color. So the only intentionality that I had with regards to that was color. I used colors that made reference to bodily parts, to internal aspects of the body. But with regards to the line, the fabric would separate itself into like branches and that sort of shape, veins and channels of capillaries, and the beeswax obviously would melt into the forms that held it. So the shape and the line is very organic. It's meant to be. I wanted it to make reference to something organic, even referencing nature.
And how could you tell? Parts. Yeah, how could you tell when this series was finished?
It actually took me a while to be able to tell when the series was finished, because I actually completed them, and then after a little while came back and looked at them again and felt like they needed to be reworked again, which I did. So this particular body of work actually took some time to process, and eventually it gets to a point where you just feel it. You just know that you've put everything into it, and that's where it is. That's where it is. And actually, even sometimes if you step away from work for a while and you come back and look at it again, it feels like I could do more to it.
I know.
So, yeah, sometimes it's actually just ongoing. Yeah.
I can imagine.
And the deadline will sort of determine that it's actually done now.
All right, great stuff. I know that it's hosted at the Riboville Boutique Hotel in Waterfall. Please do share with us the details of how we can actually view this work. So
the hotel is actually open, Sunday to Sunday through 9 a.m. to like 7, 8, depending on when dinner ends.
Okay.
So you can just go through. Actually, there's no entrance fees involved. It's open to the public, basically. And it's on for the month of May.
All right, great stuff. Great chatting to you, Fatima. All the best, hey.
Thank you.
All right. Well, titled Beneath My Skin, this new body of work hosted at the Riboville Boutique Hotel in Waterfall by Joburg-based artist Fatima Moosa. She explores her personal experiences and reflections of living through the COVID-19 pandemic.